Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. How's everybody doing today? A beautiful day. Hey, have you guys ever thought about financing something here? Financing, maybe getting a loan for a house or a car or some big purchases? Today we're going to talk about that briefly. Today we're going to talk about loans. So today, talking about loans, quite a few people ask me this, and I do want to tell you a couple things before I get started in this video. Is uh, Quite a few people come here and they finance. As you guys know, a lot of the big vloggers have even mentioned recently online that they actually finance their vehicles. But I don't really know. I don't know of any pros about financing a vehicle. I cannot think of any pros. Maybe you guys tell me in comments the pros. I'm going to tell you the cons. Now, the reason why I know this is because I looked at financing a car. The criteria is considerably. Back about 3 years ago, we were looking to finance a car. It was pre-COVID, okay, so maybe longer than that. We're thinking about coming to the States, but we knew during that time we're getting our visa approved that we might want a car and just had to leave it here because we wanted to go traveling around the islands. But after we found out how much it was to finance and things like that, interest rate can vary considerably depending on the bank. The bank can actually charge you anywhere from 20 to 30%. Sometimes 40% on that loan, believe it or not. But here's the thing, the stickler on these loans is if you say you get approved on a loan, here's an example. Say, for instance, you buy a vehicle and you're paying $20,000 for it, which is 1 million peso. And say you can't even touch a pickup truck for that, but say you can. I would want a pickup or a van or something, or a nice van, heavy duty van, or four-wheel drive. The thing of it is, what you need to look at this is the problem with that is that we're going to require to see your financials. They're going to need to see at least 6 or 8 months of bank accounts here. They want to see a bank account here, but it's not saying they won't give you a loan. They want to see at least a substantial down payment, at least $10,000-$15,000, or at least half or quarter of that money, minimum of a quarter of that money. So you need at least pay $5,000, say, or of the 20, something like that, $1,000 you're financing. The thing about it is here is the it's not the interest that really gets me mad. It's this. Say, for instance, you run along and you get a loan for 5 years. Their loans are 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. It's like anything. So you get a loan for 5 years and you're making payments. Let's just say you're paying $700 a month, because that's what they'll be, $600, $700, $800 a month. So you're paying $800 a month and everything is fine. It's running fine. You don't have any problem with it. Say you want to pay a little 100 extra on it or 200 extra on it. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to pay extra on it. They want you to pay regular payments, first to the fifth or whatever. They don't give you too much of a grace period either. If the payment is due on the 5th, they want it on the 5th. They don't want it on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. They will come pick up the car when it gets like 5 days, 6 days past the due date. Don't think they won't. Don't think they don't have repo guys that's itching to come get that car, because they make money off of you then. Now you got to make the past payments. You got to pay some pretty heavy penalties for not making a payment on a car. But here's the thing. You cannot pay up a car here. You cannot pay off a car here. You cannot pay off a car early. You have to stick to the 5 years. If your contract is 5 years, it's 5 years. If you tell them you want to make a payment and you want to have an agreement with that through the bank that I can pay this loan off early, 99% of the time banks won't let you do that. And the reason they don't let you do that is because there's no benefit to them. Their goal is to keep people on the stream and to make sure they make the payments on those vehicles. And in order to make sure they make payments on those vehicles, they don't allow early payoff or payoff amounts. So you have to really do your due diligence to make sure that if you're going to buy something, make sure you buy it and hold on to it and pay up front. If you can't afford to buy a car here, don't buy one. If you can't afford, because used cars here is going to be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for a crappy car. It's just all there is to it. They'll tell you they're great cars and they're fantastic, they can run fine, they're perfect, and everything is a perfect world. But honestly, 99% of the time, they don't change the oil on time. They don't take care of their car on time. A lot of the shocks and the struts and everything else just wore out on those cars. They really are. I mean, we even looked at some old taxis. They're just the clutches are gone, the pressure plate, everything is gone on these cars. I mean, how many taxis people ride in here that their clutches wore? I can hear the pressure plate and the clutch clanging and clicking and everything else, and the transmission not running well, the motor's sputtering, and you can tell it's running. If it's a 4-cylinder, it's running on 2. It's amazing to me. They always make sure they have their cold air on though. Most of the time, that you'll find that it'll have cold air and it will work, because they're not going to have service that not have to take care of their passengers that way. Because people will complain. What you need to do though, you really need to think about, if you're going to buy something here, take the time and save the money and just pay outright cash for it. Now, when you go to sell it, you're not going to get what you paid for. There's no way in the world you're going to get what you paid for it. Just like it is in the States. You pay $5,000 for it, you're not going to get $5,000 out. You'd be lucky to get half of that. You'd be lucky to get $2,500 out of it, $2,500, because it's the way the cookie crumbles. In the States, sometimes the whole value, but sometimes they don't there also. You know, car is a commodity, is something that I call it a throwaway. It's like a throwaway phone nowadays. You buy a car, expect to throw it away. If you're not able to keep it and maintain it, you're better off just to try to sell it and get what you can out of it and forget it, because it's not going to go for the value that you want it to. It's just the way it is. The sad thing about it is, you want it to go for a good amount of money, it more likely won't go for that good amount of money. You do have to take your time when you're purchasing something. Any large purchases here. Now, you can actually finance a fridge or a stove or a TV or something like that at a local place, and you can do that. You can get local loans, but be prepared that this is going to have 40% interest on those loans. There was a time I couldn't get money here because the banks were out of money, and there was a time there was no money available. Only ones available were the savings and loan places. Ruth went down there and got a loan for a couple $100. Well, that couple $100 was like $400 and change to pay off for a couple $100. Yeah, I go, that is, can you imagine somebody like me? And there was literally none. I didn't even do videos at that time. The Philippines was struggling at that time. This was back in the days when martial law was in. So there was a lot of things happening here that I could not talk about. I could not even bring it online. It was something that I could get in trouble about. So I had to be very careful back then. See, people don't really realize that at that time. There's vloggers that are here then, and they don't even talk about it, because there are things that you cannot just put online. Because if you did, 90% of the people that are here now would not even come. There would have been no way, because it was hard times. I mean, I was looking to go buy a car in CDO, and we're there to buy a car, and I was told to get off the street, that the NPA's around. So that was the time I said, okay, I don't need a car that bad. Let's get out of here and go back home. So we did. You have to really think about, now cars themselves are a great thing to have here. You almost need some type of transportation, but be prepared. Make sure you get your license, and make sure you get everything required of that. Make sure you get insurance, because if you're in an accident, you are required, if you're a foreigner, not only take care of yourself, but the other party. The other party may require you. You can ask some of the other vloggers. They can stop. They sold their cars. It may require you not only pay for them and their family, but for a large sum of money. So be very careful here driving. The guy was telling me the other day, in his brand new truck, a motorcycle came up and hit him in the rear end. Didn't do no damage to him, but tore up the guy's bike. And the guy demanded money, so they called the police. And the policeman said, "You have no case here, motorcycle guy. You hit him. He didn't hit you. There's many witnesses here to tell that you hit him. It's not his fault." But imagine a situation where it was turned the way around. Sometimes police will take your vehicle. So finance the vehicle's good. If you have the cash, even get through the loopholes. Make sure you put it in your wife's name, because she can save you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe $1,000. because they will reduce that price for her, but they won't do it for you. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures.